the Sky Spirit channel. How are you doing today? Could be morning where you are, could be afternoon, could be evening. Might not even be the same day that I'm recording this, that you're seeing this, or that I'm doing this live. So wherever you're watching from, and whatever you're doing, I hope you've got a great day planned, or a great 24 hours ahead planned. Right, so we are going to have a quick look at astrology. We're going to look at what the planets are doing and how that might affect you from an astrological point of view. We'll then do a quick collective reading, a 3-card reading, which might be for you. And then we will do the 24-card pick a 2-card reading. It used to be pick a card, 12-card reading, but now we're doing 2 cards. So I'm not quite sure how to phrase that. 24-card pick a small pile of cards reading, which I will explain when we get to that point. So stick around with me and see what develops for you. Right, good morning Reesway, good morning Mandy, and of course good morning Charlene. How are you doing? Right, astrologically, Venus is coming out of the post-shadow retrograde. Retrograde is when a planet appears to be moving backwards, although of course it doesn't actually stop and go into reverse, but it's an astrological term for when it appears from here to look like it's gone backwards. But that's stopped now. So Venus is the planet of love and emotions. So with this, when it's in retrograde, relationships can be tricky. Thinking can be tricky about things that are emotive or you have strong feelings about. Romance, tricky. Feelings about yourself, tricky. Because remember, when we talk about feelings and romance, we often just tend to think about it being about the person that we are, our significant other half, romantically engaged with. But it can be just as easily about the romance you have with yourself and how you feel about yourself or friends or other people around you, even pets, I guess. So your thinking should be clearer in that way. You should be feeling better emotionally. Also, Venus is the planet of beauty and harmony, rules the sign Libra. So what you can expect with the change in Libra, good morning Gavin, how are you doing? With the change with Venus, you can expect you might feel like making something more of your surroundings or environment or yourself. So like beautifying, increasing the aesthetic value of those things around you. And you might find yourself more drawn to things of beauty or art or poetry or just those things that are, things that the arts, poems, art, lovely, beautiful things. You might feel like decorating the house and just making your surroundings more beautiful, or doing the garden or something like that. So that's our little Venus association this morning. So, right, let us move on to the collective reading. So I'm doing a 3-card reading with the tarot here. I'm using the Golden Universal Tarot. I got asked that by somebody yesterday. On Facebook, I believe it was. So it's a Golden Universal Tarot, which is based on the Rider-Waite deck. Rider-Waite, did it that sound like Wide Awake deck? Do you remember the you probably don't, because you're probably not as old as me. The Wide Awake Club, I think it was in the early 90s or something, with Timmy Mallet on it. It was dreadful. But it's the Rider-Waite deck, based on the Rider-Waite deck, but with golden bits on it, because I'm a bit of a magpie. I like gold things and silver things and sparkly things, so that's why I've got these tarot. Right, 3-card reading. I'm going to cut the deck again just because I can. Right, okay, interesting. Right, so what we have is a collective reading. Remember, this could be really directed at you. This could be spot on for you, or it could be overarching. And I'm not saying that as a get out. I'm saying it because lots of people do these collective readings when they're reading online like this. And I think it's because I don't have an individual way of doing everybody on the chat a 3-card reading all at once, because it would take all day. But you sort of think, right, you'll do a 3-card and then perhaps somebody's meant to get that message, or it can be sort of on a more global level. But I'm like, I'm more relating it to a person. Yeah, Saturday morning TV. Mr. Steve, are you old enough to remember Saturday morning swap shop? Because that's the first one I remember. Um, and I think I can still remember. No, I can't remember the number for it. I used to remember the phone number and the postcard because they used to say answers on a postcard, please. And like they used to do a quiz. And can you imagine now having to take the time to answer a quiz on a TV program by writing your answer on a postcard, getting a stamp, putting the address on it, walking to a post box and posting it? Nobody would bother these days. These days we're about instant grats, aren't we? It's if you had to do that, just like literally nobody would bother. Right, 3-card reading then. Okay, so we've got the Hermit reversed and the Three of Swords reversed, and then the Five of Pentacles, which is the odd one out. So we'll tackle these two first. So this means this is talking about ending a period of isolation. And it feels like if these cards are meant for you, you've had a period of heartbreak. There's been a time when you felt quite detached from normal life. Like you've almost hidden yourself away following a heartbreaking situation. It could have been the breakup of a relationship. It could also be just feeling you don't remember anything, Mr. Steve. Yeah, I relate to that in some respects as well. So these two cards together would say to me, right, you've isolated yourself after a period of heartbreak, not necessarily just to do with a relationship. Heartbreak can be a period of depression, can't it? Or a period of just feeling down, out of sorts, not connected to your own energy. Because heartbreak doesn't have to involve another person. But it feels like you isolated because there's our hermit there, but he's turned on his head. So it's like these cards are saying, okay, and 3 as well. A three's always moving, it's not static. So you're being told in no uncertain terms here to get yourself out there, basically, to stop the period of mourning, to try to realize that yes, you've gone through the cycle of feeling that heartbreak, okay, but now the best thing for you to do is to push yourself forward, and that means taking the bull by the horns and doing things which are going to be beneficial to your mental well-being and to pull yourself out of the rut, okay, because sometimes it's easy to get stuck there, isn't it? And it's easy just to sort of accept that as how you're going to be, but it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that. And the upturned hermit there is reflecting that need to change. And now I'm seeing where our Five of Pentacles is involved here, because it's a card of loss, but it's also a card of moving away. Look at these people, they're moving, they're walking away. And so it's like the loss that this card is representing is the loss of that period of feeling bad. It's the loss of that period of, I don't mean this in a negative way, but sometimes we can wallow in that sort of feeling of downness and it becomes like the expected and we do wallow in it. So this is like time to leave that behind. Time to leave the period of blackness behind. Time to put yourself back out there and heal your broken or wounded heart. Okay. So that's our collective reading for the morning. Good morning, hi. I hope you are having a great day too. And thank you very much for your peace and love blessings. That's lovely. Right, I'm going to give these cards a good shuffle 8. And then we shall move on to the 24 card, pick a small card, pile of cards, pick a card reading. I'm going to have to think of the more concise way of describing that. I don't know what to call it now, because traditionally you do 12 cards. It'd be like pick a card, 12 cards, but this isn't as easy. Right, so let's explain the nuts and bolts of it, just in case you're seeing me for the first time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down 12 piles of 2 cards. You can choose a number between 1 and 12, or you can choose more than one number, or you can just listen to the whole reading and take what resonates with you. If you've got a specific question, sometimes it helps to focus on that question and then choose a number or numbers, and hopefully the tarot will give you some direction. And the reason I say that you don't have to actually think of a question or pick any number in particular is this. I think that the tarot, every single card has a message for you, and it's a beneficial message in some respects. Every card has got a negative and a positive side, but remember, In life, we learn from the negatives, don't we? And forewarned is also forearmed, okay? We can't float through life just having all lightness. There has to be the darkness as well. And I think every card, and therefore every combination of cards, has a message that is relevant to us. And if we don't take it now, we might use that message in the future, or it can give you a little bit of insight into how you feel. Now I need to start talking to people who are negative about the tarot in some way, and I've been thinking about doing like a little video to talk about how I think the tarot works and how we can use them in modern life. And one thing that's really interesting to me is that some psychotherapists, now Carl Jung, very famous psychotherapist who is called by some the father of modern psychiatry, was a great fan of the tarot. And in like psychotherapy, it's sometimes used to give people a different way of thinking of things and to spark the intuition and to get people thinking about different things in their lives and different approaches to things. It can be a prompt to start your own thinking and healing process. So that's a very like real world explanation, isn't it? If you sort of discount the, is it telepathy? Is it supernatural? Is it this? Is it that? That's one way that people actually use it. So it's actually a tool for self-reflection, self-healing. So everything is a winning combination. Right, let us go forward, and I will put down 12 cards, then 12 cards on top, and we'll do the 24 card reading. I need to think of a better name. If anybody can think of something better for me to call this, which doesn't sound like I'm garbling my words over it, then go for it, please. I'd love to hear it. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're watching this video at a later date, you can skip to where your cards are. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you don't have to listen to me talking on. I was going to introduce my cats to you today, and I came in here with a bag of cat treats because I thought I'll entice them into the room. But like I shook the bag and I was immediately besieged by all 3 of them all at once, and they were all over here and all on the table, so I had to shut the door and boot them out. Right, I didn't go around do the second pile, did I? Second card. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I do that like go around once, go around twice, because then you've not got like these 2 cards haven't been with each other in the pile, so in the deck. So you know you're getting no. Do you know the chat is behind as well, Charlene? So I don't see the comments until it's like about 30 seconds later or something. So I only saw that after I'd done them. Right, we're going to start with number 1. Number 1. Okay, so we've got some negative memories in the past about something that's an organization or structure, or something that's rules imposed upon you. So it feels like if you've chosen number 1, you could be having a negative sort of experience or some thoughts coming up from the past about some kind of rules that were imposed on you, or some kind of rigid structure that stopped you from doing what you wanted to do. And I think the message from these cards is that this thing was in the past, it comes from your past, and it's best left in the past. And it feels like this rigorous structure, this hierarchical or perhaps patriarchal organization has sort of forced a round peg into a square hole, and that was never you. And it could be, right, an example of this would be if you were let's say an artistic child, or a creative child, or a child that just didn't conform to how you were supposed to be at school, you know, and then you were forced to be that, you know, like to fit the mold, and you're still feeling like a little bit of the effects from that because you weren't allowed to develop in the way that you should have developed. And it can sometimes feel that holds you back a little bit. That's a very literal example, but it's along those lines. It's something that comes from the past where you a strict ruling, a strict structure was imposed on you, and it's still affecting you to this day, and you need to cut the cords with it and leave it behind. Mr. Steve, you could call it a 12 card spread with clarification card. Yeah, I like that. That could work very well. We shall try that one. Right, so if you've chosen number one, or if these cards resonate with you, I think it's like, remember now that you don't have to be that child anymore. You can let go of that child that felt overpowered, that felt like they were constantly sort of fighting against the current, kicking back against the rules. You're not that younger person anymore, okay? You can break free. And in fact, if we turn these cards around, we can go down a completely alternative route, and we can think about more about the things in our childhood we enjoyed, and perhaps focusing back on the things that you were good at as a child, back at the positive attributes of childhood, creativity or open-mindedness or being inspired, or just like waking up every day feeling better about yourself than you do now. Okay, so think about turning how you feel about past experiences on its head, turning the energy around in order to feel it in a more positive way. Those are interesting cards, aren't they? Number 6. Right, okay, so number 6, we've got a period of anxiety, perhaps even sleeplessness or nightmares, and it feels like you've rushed into almost like a battle, a conflict, something that's happened very fast, and perhaps some decisions have been forced upon you, and now they're like, could be giving you sleepless nights, and it could feel like you're not quite sure about those decisions anymore. And it's like, when you lie awake at night and you sort of mulling over all the things that you've done wrong in your life. It's amazing that when we have these sleepless nights, we don't lie there thinking about all the positive things that we've done, do we, and congratulating ourselves. We lie there thinking about all the, like, I can think about things I said to people in arguments like in my 20s, and it's like so irrelevant now, and I bet those people don't even remember me, and I'm lying there thinking, oh no, I should never have said that, what an awful person I am, awake at 3 in the morning mulling over all these things. So that is that energy, okay? And it's like, this is a speedy decision. This has been something that you've decided, or some kind of way that you've tackled something, and then now it's given you a hard time. Now you're actually second guessing it. So the positive energy of this card, however, is certainly somebody that is moving in the right direction, okay? It's not, when it's up this way, this is very much an into battle card, and somebody who's trying to be conflictive, who's trying to cause conflict with you. So it's a positive card in a way. It does suggest that you've moved pretty fast on something, but it would also suggest that the decision that you've made shouldn't be giving you as much anxiety as it is, okay? Just like stick to your guns and think, right, decision made, move on, move past it, all right? Tackle the next thing now. Don't hark back to it and keep going over it and keep thinking about it, because you're not going to change what you've done, all right? And there's no point going back and trying to unpick it at this point. So it can really be a lot of sort of negative thinking is involved with this duo, I feel, but it's something that happened fast, and it's something that will move fast as well. So it will move out of your sphere of energy, so to speak. So there's again some interesting cards there. And I'm wondering, I'm almost like connecting the dots here and looking back and thinking about the 6 of Cups reversed, and this could be a decision or choice that you've made, way back when. It can be something from years ago. And in fact, sometimes when we lie awake and think about these things, it's like it is those decisions that haunt us from years ago that we still sort of harken back to. That was a word from yesterday, wasn't it? Harken back to. Whether or not it's a real word, I don't know. It is now. But we do go back in time, don't we? And think about the choices that we've made and the effect that they have on our lives now. And sort of it's that thing, that regret thing, isn't it? But sometimes we just have to put these things to bed and move on. So that would be the message from those cards. Number 7. How interesting. These are really good cards. I hope somebody's chose number 7 this morning, because we have the Chariot. So we have fast moving, something fast moving. You're galloping forward to a wish come true. So it feels like something you've been trying to manifest is now coming really, really quickly towards you. And it's like it unfolds really quickly. If you imagine going on a chariot and you're sort of bombing along, and it's like no obstacles will be able to stop you. It's like this chariot is pulled by these sphinxes, and they're black and white. They're like polar opposites. So it's like you can see things black and white. You're not looking at the small detail. You're just bombing through the middle of it. You decide one way or another. Okay. It's one of those moods where you don't go, I'm not quite sure about this decision or whether I should be doing this. You're like, I'm doing this. I want this. I'm getting it, because it's like, that's what I've decided. And then you're galloping towards it, and it's going really fast, and it's going to like manifest for you. This is a card of happiness. This is a card where the man is finally sitting on his barrels there, and he's like plump and he's well fed, and he's thinking, yes, I got what I wanted. I achieved what I wanted to achieve, and I manifested what I wanted to manifest. So it feels like these cards are saying that that thing that you've wanted, that you've desired, that you've been working towards is really coming quickly now. It's coming into your influence, and you should expect the arrival of something that you've really, really wanted for a while. Okay, so we'll leave it at that with those, because not much more to be said. Those are really good cards. Right, number 5. Right, number 5. It feels like you feel like you're not getting off the ground with something. You're feeling stuck with something. You feel like you might be moving in the wrong direction. You see my 2 of wands here. We've got 2 wands, which is like 2 choices. Yeah, when it's upside down, it's like it shows you standing there thinking, oh my God, did I make the right choice here? It's almost reflective of cards 1 and 6 as well. It's like that reflective doubt about choices, okay? And wondering if you've moved in the right direction. And then we've got the 7 of Swords, which talks about competition, like people working against you in a way. People can be sort of competitive with you, challenging you, trying to better you, I think is the word that I'm looking for there. So it feels like maybe you've been shaken off your path. Your choices have become a little bit confused because somebody else's influence, yeah? Somebody else is sticking their oar in and giving you doubt about a decision you thought you'd already made. Aren't these cards getting similar, apart from our Chariot and 9 of Cups there? The other 3 piles have been quite similar. So but this one is definitely more somebody, a person, a character sticking their oar in, giving you like reason to doubt yourself, challenging your position. All right. But it can also be, if you look at, all right, your position's being challenged, but look at the man in this card. All right. He looks a bit stressed out. Absolutely, but he's also standing his ground. Okay, so the message from these cards is positive in that way. It's telling you, okay, you might be feeling a little bit confused at the moment and not quite sure of which way to go, but stick with the original plan. Okay, don't listen to whoever's sticking their oar in. Stick with your original plan. Stand your ground. Okay, stick up for yourself. All right, go back to your decision. Let's turn this around. Let's change you back into this person who has the world in their hands, who has choices in front of them, and is looking at new horizons and making new plans. Because a 2 is very embryonic. It's about when you first have an idea. It's not when you've moved into a project and then it's going to expand. That's more like a 3. The 2 is the very, very beginning of thinking about doing something. So you've been making plans, somebody else has stuck their oar in, and now you're like, oh my goodness, do I even know my own mind? What, maybe I was wrong about that. But this card also says, stand your ground, be strong, stick to the original plan, move forward with confidence, and don't listen to the naysayers. Okay, right, number 4. Number 4. Okay, so we have the Five of Swords and we have the Moon. Now, I would say that this card is about, are you are you doubting yourself about the position that you've held in an argument? So have you had a confrontation or a conflict with somebody or a disagreement, or you haven't really seen eye to eye with them, but you've actually sort of pressed your opinion on them, but now you're sort of doubting? And this, I mean, it also can feel like something is hidden from you as well. And it doesn't feel like this person that you had a disagreement with was entirely honest. So their argument was flawed because they didn't tell you the full story. That's how it feels. It feels like there was something that remained unsaid, and perhaps now you're doubting your position after this conflict or after this talk. And it could just be that, I mean, when I say conflict and confrontation, doesn't necessarily mean you had a brawl in the street. It can just be when you clash heads with somebody, or you disagree with them, or there's something that's something that happens that makes you think, well, no, I don't agree with that. And so you put yourself forward and you state your opinion, and it feels like you now feel in a weaker position because of it. So it's like, maybe you thought you'd feel better about that confrontation, but now you're starting to doubt it. But the thing is, it feels like, good morning, Cheyenne Blue, how are you doing? It was good to hear you yesterday on Ron's live. So, but there's definitely something that hasn't been said that was kept from you, from this person who you had perhaps a disagreement with or a difference of opinions. All right. So the message from the cards would be, why don't you revisit that situation and ask, try to do a little bit more digging. Try to have a bit of a more in-depth look at the situation around that disagreement or around that difference of opinion, because it feels like not all is out in the open. Because remember, the moon, things look different in the moonlight than they do in the sunlight, and the sun uncovers all and it burns the truth. Okay, sunlight is truth, moonlight is deception. Okay, can be self-deception, but I'm tying it with this card here, which involves another person. So it feels like more like perhaps the deception is coming from their side of things. So however you take those cards, have a think about that and see if you can relate that to a disagreement that you've had recently that you might need to do a bit more digging around to get the full story. Okay. Gosh, got another cough going on. Well, or going on well. I'm saying well because I'm reading what Cheyenne's typing and trying to speak at the same time. So I'm still not managing the speaking and reading thing. And now I'm combining speaking and reading and half speaking what I'm supposed to be saying and half speaking what I'm reading, which isn't going to work on any level. Right, number 12. Ooh, number 12, we've got good cards here for you. So number 12, we have a Knight and we have the Ace of Swords. So our Knight of Wands is a really positive card. It's talking about enthusiasm, energy, an event happening to you really quite soon and coming quite quickly, which is going to infuse you with energy. And it could even be like, let's tie this in with the astrology, because that retrograde of Venus is finishing, and it could bring something new into your life that you feel very passionate about, or you feel like you've got a lot of energy towards. And it can almost feel like the Knight of Wands can be a little bit of a playboy energy. So it's like you might suddenly feel like you want to take up something new, or you want to do something a bit risky. And now tying this with our Ace of Swords card, again, that is something new. It's victory, it's progress, it's the hand coming through the clouds of confusion with the sword of clarity. So it's wafting away the clouds of confusion, and it sort of goes like, oh, go this way forward. It's like that breakthrough moment, and then you're going to gallop through those clouds following this new path. So these cards would ideally be like, ideally, that's not the right word that I'm looking for. These cards would, if I'm looking at a literal example, you're looking at a new way becoming obvious to you, and then you move very quickly through there with a lot of boundless enthusiasm. If I was doing this reading and for say a young man and these were his cards, it would be like right, okay, so you feel like you're going to go down a direction. Now this card is often as well, it's associated with phallic energy. All right, so this could be very much a new relationship. If you were a younger man and you're thinking about that, then that could be that sort of thing as well, because look, it's obvious that this is, a lot of things in the tarot are phallic, but this is like uber phallic, and Uber's not in the chat, as you know. So, but you know what I mean. So I don't mean actually Uber, who we all know. I mean like very phallic, and this is like galloping towards that. So it's like a sexual encounter. But also it could mean, because not everything is that literal with the tarot. And good morning, Brittany. How are you doing? It can also be, we already did 5. You might need to go back on the video and rewind to see 5. It can also be you just taking a new direction, because this doesn't have to be the phallic thing. It can just be that sword cutting through, giving you clarity, giving you a new direction, and the movement towards it is your energy to take up this new thing. So you can move quickly in that direction to a more enjoyable, positive state of mind. Good morning, Bailey. How are you doing? So these are great cards, whether you're a young man looking for that encounter, or whether you're not and you just are going to take a new direction and move somewhere with boundless energy. I'd love these cards if, for example, I'd been going through a stage of feeling very lackluster. All right, because this is like the energy of the Knight of Wands and the Ace of Swords. It would give you that almost like a shot of testosterone and energy, and just like, let's gallop over there and do this. So it would feel like your energy would be returning. Okay, so we love those cards. Number 2. Wow, that's an interesting combo. So we've got the 9 of Wands, which is my wounded warrior card. And then we've got the 4 of Wands, which is a committed relationship card, like a marriage card. And let's get a feel for this. It feels like, okay, there might have been some resilience. So you felt like you've had to go through a lot of battles on a personal level in a relationship, in a stable relationship, in order to maintain the stability of that relationship. It feels like it's been you that's had to battle through something here, if you're resonating with number 2. And it feels like your determination is I'm just reading what Bailey's put there. It's not Diddy. I think that would probably refer to the last cards, because I've got a delay on the chat. But no, I don't think Diddy's getting them cards today, Bailey. And you've just reminded me I might do a Diddy reading just out of pure curiosity, but probably like about what's happened, not the outcome of the trial. I don't know, but I'll have a think about that. So back to these cards. I've completely lost my train of thought there again. So it's like you've had to go through a lot. You've had to be the person who has been determined in a relationship. You have had to, Bailey, that is funny, and I'm still laughing at the chat here. So it feels like you've had to battle for this relationship in order to maintain the stability and commitment within the relationship. There's had to be a lot of fights, and you feel quite wounded from it, and you feel quite that, you know, it's like you just want a break. You just want to be able to relax and you know, let things be happy. And these cards feel like they're actually reminding you can take your foot off the gas now. And it feels like that period of having to fight to feel committed and stable within a relationship, or within, if you're not in a relationship, think about how you feel about yourself as well. I always say that, but it's more like a human to human relationship, this one. But it feels like if you've had to be that person in control, yeah, not along for the ride, that person who's driving it or keeping it on the straight and narrow, or who's picking up the pieces, or who's correcting things, making sure everything's working okay. You can take your feet off the gas. Do you drive with 2 feet? Perhaps you do. You can take however many feet you've got on the gas off, and relax a little bit, because it feels like the energy is settling down on a relationship point of view. And also our wands are very much about fire and energy and how we feel inside about ourselves. So it feels like those energies are settling now, and you can drop the defenses. Okay, you can drop the defenses and enjoy a more stable period of life, whether that is with a committed relationship with somebody else, or whether it is just in your own little bubble, because some of us, myself included, are quite happy single. So that would be how I would interpret those cards for me. Excuse me. Number three. Okay, interesting. So we have got the Three of Swords reversed, and we've got the Seven of Swords reversed. So because we've got two sword cards here, it would talk about there's been some conflict, but it feels like that is moving off. And it also feels like you were hurt by something. The card of the broken hearted. And it feels like, good morning, Helena. It feels like you're moving away from being hurt by something, being hurt, your heart being pierced, being absolutely hurt by something. And it feels like you've made a real strategy to move away from this. And it feels like you might be offered some good advice from somebody as well surrounding this issue. And it could be that you are on the verge of a breakthrough in how you recover from feeling stuck in the Three of Swords energy when it's up like this, because this hurts your heart. Okay, this is moving away from that hurt. This is good advice, or you making a good strategy in order to lose that energy, leave it behind. And it feels like these cards are really encouraging you to keep following that strategy. Don't allow yourself to fall back on old ways, because old ways brought you hurt. All right, and this is like a reminder that those circumstances are still there. They haven't changed. It's a duo of no forgiveness, really. No forgiveness, no surrender. Keep going along the way that you're going. All right, follow some advice. You might get some good advice from somebody about this situation, but it's not the person that hurt you, if that's what you're thinking. It's not their advice. All right, don't listen to them. We can put them to one side. It would be advice from a third party more than anything. But it feels like you're being reminded to keep moving away from the Three of Swords energy. Keep going in the direction that you were going in, following your own strategy that you made in order to escape this period of feeling really down. All right. So those are interesting cards this morning. So let me know if that resonates with you. Resonates. And Helena, you were doing number 3. I hope that helped in some way. So we are going to go with number 11 now. Number 11. Right. We're talking about finances, money, security, because we've got a lot of pentacles shining out at me here. And we have a reversed 6 and a reversed ace. So first of all, the ace reverse talks about something being stalled, something that was beginning to feel like it might work out, going a bit wrong. All right. So feels like there have been a stumbling block in something new that you wanted to start. All right. This card would turn up, for example, if you were starting a business and then you found out that there was a rule, a law, an export thing or an import thing that meant you just couldn't do it. Okay. So that would be how that card would come out. Now, also tying it in with the 6 of Pentacles here, this is a giving and receiving card, and it's also about balance. So it feels like the balance is against you. In whatever you're trying to start at the minute, it feels like that balance isn't in your favor. So you'd be best advised to drop this new plan that you've got for something. If you're thinking about going down a new route and it's to do with your finances or financial decisions, your security, or see you later, Bailey, have a good day, or your security, or the things that keep us secure in life, our house, our cars, our money, our possessions, the things that we have, material things. If there was a new decision or a new plan on your mind, you're best off not going down that path today, okay? Because the balance is tipped over, it's going against you. And it feels like when we're looking at an Ace of Pentacles reversed, it can also be sort of gifts that are given with strings attached, bribes, things like that. So it's all pretty negative attached to this card. So I don't want to put a downer on your day, because remember, forewarned is forearmed. It just means I would interpret these two cards together to mean if you're planning something financial, hold back from it today if you can, because the scales aren't tipped in your favor, and there's that air of deception around things to do with money and gifts and things like that. Also, if somebody tries to give you something today, then examine their motivations. I nearly said motivations again, but I stopped myself this time. Examine their motivations in giving you that gift, because it feels like there would be strings attached which would be not what they would initially seem, okay? So it's not what it would seem, all right? So just be aware of those energies today and look out for them. Number 11. Number 11, we have a Page of Wands and a Four of Cups. So our Four of Cups can be contemplation, missed opportunities, and feeling a little bit bored with stuff, okay? So it could be that you've been sitting around, look at the illustration. This woman is looking at these cups in front of her and she's like, I'm so bored with these cups. These cups do nothing for me anymore. And what she's actually missing is that behind her, behind the tree, there's like, da-da, this cup being presented to her in this hand through the clouds of confusion. So it's like, here's something else you can try. And she's got her back to it. So yes, sorry, it is number 10. What did I say it was? This is number 10. Sorry about that. So she's well spotted there. She is missing an opportunity, okay? And then we have the Page of Wands coming in, and he's looking towards the opportunity. So it feels like what these cards are asking you to do is re-examine some choices that you've made and some opportunity that you may have discounted or missed. Think back, have a think. What were you offered recently that you either dismissed, or perhaps you didn't even acknowledge it? Or have you entirely missed it? Okay, have a look back, because the Page of Wands can be a card about exploring the creativity of something, looking at something through a new viewpoint, and being youthfully curious about it. All right, so, and because he's looking back, we look at tarot illustrations very literally sometimes when we're doing a spread, and you look at the interaction between those two cards. She's looking away from the opportunity, he's looking towards the opportunity. So it's like this is reminding you, look back. All right, look back. What have you missed that could have been handed to you on a plate? Almost, it's handing you a cup, but you get where I'm going with this. And you're being urged to revisit it and perhaps put some creative energy into that opportunity, because it feels like it could be something which will drive you forward. Because Wands, the Page of Wands is very full of energy. So it's I'm just reading Helena's comment there again. So it's about it will give you energy, it will be inspirational, but you have missed it at the moment. So there's something that you need to revisit, something you need to go back to, rehash over it, look at what have you missed about it. Perhaps you thought that it wasn't a great idea, but perhaps it is. So go back, look back, and find out what that thing is, and then go for it. Put your energy into that, because the Page of Wands is also so creative, and he's so able to make something of nothing. So it's like taking hold of that opportunity and running with it, okay? And it feels like it will go far for you. So that was, as KLG reminded me, that was number 10. So this is number 9. This is number 9. Right, so we have the Tower. Oh, the Tower. So the Tower is a card that people don't like to see coming out in the tarot, because it can talk about an event which can be quite catastrophic, but What the tower usually means, and we're going to talk about this card in a minute. What the tower usually means is that an event that had to happen in order to knock everything to the floor, because just like a strong building has to be built from strong foundations. And when you have the tower card, it's often that you've built this idea or this way of life or this thing that you're doing on really shaky foundations. And then something happens and it's knocked to the ground. All right. It's hit from above by a bolt of lightning. It explodes at the top. It drops to the floor. And it feels like, whoa, this is sort of a catastrophe, but it's actually about getting rid of something that was never going to work. All right, it had to be blown out of all existence. It had to be got rid of. It had to leave your sort of sphere of energy. It had to go, all right, in order that you can rebuild. And now what I'm seeing here as well, we've got the number 4, the Emperor, involved with the Tower. These are 2 major arcana cards, so this is a really powerful influence on you, and it feels like life-changing events for you are unfolding, and it's starting with the sort of getting rid of the old things that no longer served you, because the Emperor then comes along, and the Emperor is somebody that rebuilds those foundations and rebuilds your tower from the strong foundations up. He's a manifester, he's in charge, he's a leader, and it feels like you take control of your life. And the tower might have almost be something where somebody else was controlling events, and that sort of built up this whole false narrative for you that then sort of had to be blown away. It's been blown out of the water, and then you become the sovereign, you become the emperor, and you rebuild your life, or the events that are sort of surrounding you at the moment. You become the person in charge of that. And so these cards would really encourage you to feel that power. Okay, feel the power of the destruction, all right? Because sometimes it's cathartic, isn't it? It's like building a big bonfire in your garden and then chucking all your ex's belongings on it. I don't recommend that, but just imagine that you did. Or chucking like your old stuff on that you were no longer that was no longer serving you, things that you'd held on to that had bad memories, but you'd held on to them anyway, and you go in the garden and you just hoy it all on the bonfire and watch it burn. That's your tower moment. And then you walk back into your house and you go to bed, and the next day you wake up so determined to move past that point, so determined that those things are swept off the table and they're not going to affect you anymore. Okay, that is your emperor moment. That is the moment when you decide to be the emperor on your life. You take charge and you rebuild. And because we've got the tower there, you're rebuilding from the foundations up, but you're going to build so much stronger than you could possibly have done before, because you've cut the ties. The tower is a cord cutting exercise, okay? And it was needed. It's something which was malignant, holding you back, not wanted, all right? It's cut out. It's gone. It's like a rotten thing that's been removed, okay? And it feels like you've moved past that. You're rebuilding. So those are really interesting and powerful cards. And this is a life change. This is a catharsis. This is going through that and then becoming that in that much more positive place. Mandy, please be good to me today. What did you choose? Number 8. All right, you've got the last card, so we shall see. No pressure, no pressure at all from Mandy. Thank you. I'm going to have a sneak look at them. Yeah, okay, let's have a think about this. What do we think? Right, so we've got the 10 of Wands here, and then we've also got the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups, when he's reversed like this, he can be somebody who's quite untruthful or dishonest, and it's that sort of energy of something that's happened in the past where somebody hasn't been truthful with you, and it's still affecting your emotions to this day, okay? And it feels like it weighs heavy on you, because then we've got the Wands card, the 10 of Wands card here, that talks about you carrying the burden. So you're carrying a burden from somebody who was deceptive, or somebody that didn't act in a very chivalrous way. And it feels like it can also indicate It's like I'm just looking under the desk here to see what that noise is. I think I might still have a cat in here. So it's can be a fraudulent act as well, but it's definitely that deception energy going on there. Um, and it's been a burden to you. It's weighed down on you, or it's caused you to think about things differently, or perhaps you don't trust people. Perhaps this is a trust issue that you have, Mandy. Do you need to let go of something from the past in order to move forward? Because the message from the Ten of Wands is about carrying burdens. Look at this poor guy. He is so weighed down by these wands, okay? But the good thing is he's moving towards his castle and his mountain, all right? Which means that this card often indicates it's time to put down it's time to put down the burden, all right? It's time to let go of not trusting, or perhaps it's even a person in your past who has caused you to have a negative association or negative feelings. It's time to cut the cords. Again, we've got cord cutting here, just like we have with the Tower and the Emperor. We've got that feeling of having to leave it in the past, having to move forward, put down those burdens. But good news is that you're heading towards your castle, which is your happiness. It's your, every man in his castle sort of thing. And it's on top of the mountain. So it's like you climb in that challenging time and you get to the top, and then you look around and you think, wow, I've come a long way, and I didn't ever need this energy. I didn't need to carry this for so long. I could have put it down quite a while ago, but I chose to carry it on my back. But now you're on the verge of putting it down. You will climb your mountain and find your castle. So I hope that's a good thing, Mandy. That is a good thing. I like those cards because I wasn't sure at first. I was like, I don't know. But it's like the negative turn into the positive, I think. So I think we'll go for that's a positive for Mandy this morning. And for anybody else who chose those cards this morning, I think which pile were they? Number 8, weren't they? So right, I don't think I have any questions today, which is not a bad thing because I can. Oh, it's a Friday, isn't it? So I can go and do Friday things like, I don't know, what are your Friday things to do? I don't really have Friday things because I work from home. I like actually, I tell you what, I am going to make a concerted effort today not to get wrapped up in the Diddy trial, because it's like, honestly, I always go, I'm just not interested in celebrity. But like, this is one of those things where everybody's sort of interested in it, and it becomes interesting. It becomes interesting. So I've kind of got tied up with it, and I've been listening to Ron. We'll blame Ron in the afternoon. Listening to his analysis of the trial, and it's meant that I have neglected my work, I'm sad to say, and I've definitely got some actual work I get paid for that I've got to do today, which I've neglected this week. So I should do that. And because I work for myself, what I was trying to say there is I always think, oh, Friday, looking forward to the weekend. But sometimes I work the weekend because I haven't done what I was supposed to do in the week. So a weekend doesn't really hold the same enjoyment that it used to do for me when I worked a 9 to 5 and like had the weekends off. I'm going to look at Mandy's question first, but the second question there, J-O, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong there, J-O Pedro Costa Calazo, I believe that is. Hello, Sky Spirit. It's my first time here. Will Lady Gaga be nominated for the 2025 MTV TV Video Music Awards and win 5 awards? Do you know, I'm not going to kid you and say that I'll be able to tell you with the tarot, because that is like so precise. I can ask the tarot and we can see whether it's a positive or negative, but that is it's 2 questions in one, all right? So I would probably ask it as 2 questions. And B, like, if I could be that precise with the tarot, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be on a tropical island sipping a what's that spearmint, and anyway, a cocktail, a mojito. I'd be sipping a mojito or 7 because I will have won the lottery, okay? So I'm not going to kid you that tarot is that accurate or precise, but we'll have a look at that. But we'll have a look at Mandy's question first, which is, how can I best navigate this day? So let's have a look. Mandy, and see what we get for you. I'm just having a good shuffle here, as you can hear. And I will one day be able to shuffle in the air like this. I would give it a go now, but there will be cards everywhere. It's so much easier to do it on the desk, and I have to admit that I haven't been practicing a lot. Don't, honestly, there's no need to apologize if it's 2 questions at the same time. I just thought I'd point that out, because we could do it as 2 questions, but again, it's a very narrow one. It's a very narrow answer, isn't it, that one? But I can certainly ask, and we'll see. But remember, the tarot often, this isn't get out clause here, the tarot often give you what is most likely to happen given the current energies, yeah? And it's like, I personally don't believe that anything is set in stone, because we all have what we call free will, and it's one of the joys and gifts of being human and being a spirit in a human body on this planet, is that we are gifted free will. So we make up our own minds about things, and we make choices all the time which change things. Right, I'm focusing on asking, how can Mandy best navigate this day? How can Mandy best navigate this day? Let us have a look. Please, Tarot, tell us how Mandy can best navigate this day. Let's see how that comes out. Feels to me like you could feel like you put a lot of work in and you're not really getting what you want from the day, okay? It feels like you could feel like there's a lot of energy going in and not much of what you want coming out, all right? And it feels like it makes you feel quite exhausted, okay? And it makes you feel like the money's just not coming to you today. So you can feel a little bit destabilized materially today, and it feels like it makes you feel really quite down about it, and like you've put in the work and it's just not coming there for you, because I'm pulling a clarifier here. It feels like there's a crossroads, there's a decision to be made, all right? And I have pulled another clarifier. I'm going to have to, because these cards, I'm like, I pull another one. So let us go forward with this little spread here. So it feels like you're not getting, let's get this one that came out first. You're not getting the energy back from a situation that you wanted to. It's like your harvest, it's Kaza's card. It's the man weeing on his crops, okay? And what it means when it's up this way is that you're not feeling that reciprocal. You're not getting the harvest from your energy. You put energy in, you grow corn, you rake it, you plant it, it rains on it, it harvests, you feel fantastic. It's a reciprocation of energy. It's reciprocation a word, quite possibly. When he's up this way, okay, it's like he's put all the energy in and it hasn't come back to him. And then what we're left with is this feeling of exhaustion, but it's like, it's also an encouraging card, this as well, because it's saying, okay, this is making you feel like you're not getting anywhere and you're exhausted and you can't be bothered to try again. But then we've also got a 10 of Pentacles reversed coming up as well, which is also a negative card from a material and sort of money point of view. It's like, it's not a great situation financially. That was a big clatter outside my door. The cats that I locked out, who wanted to come in for the treats, are still like angry and outside my door here waiting to come in to get treats from me. So it's not looking good financially, but there's also this decision that has to be made as well, Mandy. So I feel like I'm not answering your question really here, am I? I'm just seeing this judgment, this decision, because what I pulled out, again, I did pull out another clarifier there. I have this feeling of temporary loss, okay? But it is a temporary loss and then a return of these finances to you. So it feels like your hands are a bit tied at the moment, and whichever way you look at it, there's like a loss involved there, but it does feel that this will be temporary. So I guess the advice from the cards would be, it's one of those days where you're just going to have to stick in, stand your ground, make that decision, and know that what will come after you've made the decision isn't permanent. It isn't something that's going to affect you negatively on a permanent basis, if that makes sense. And I'm sorry that that's not more precise or clear or positive in a way here. So but as I say, I always say it like it is, and I can't just, you know, I can't just give you the cards that I want to give you, unfortunately. And Mandy, you've only been awake for an hour and I've already hit the nail directly on the head. And that doesn't make me feel good, because they weren't particularly good cards financially wise, were they? Materially wise, that sort of feeling of loss of security a little bit. But I guess, as we say, forewarned is forearmed, and you know that you're just going to have to be strong and come to that decision. So I'm going to, for a bit of fun here, I'm going to go with the Lady Gaga question. Where is it? Yes, right. Will Lady Gaga be nominated for the 2025 MTV Video Music Awards and win 5 awards? So we're going for, is Lady Gaga going to be nominated for the 2025 MTV Video Music Awards? So I'm asking tarot this. Sometimes my tarot have a sense of humour, and if I ask them a question they think is like something that they can't answer, they'll chuck something up to tell me that I'm an idiot. So, for asking. So we'll see what they say. Right. Madness. We have the we have the man peeing on his crop's back, as Kaza would say. Look, he does look like he's doing that, but when it comes to giving you an, see how mad that is when I'm saying that the tarot have a sense of humor. And what do? They give me the card that I've just had in my hand, after you can hear how I'm shuffling them there, and then they give me the same card straight back in my hand, which is my tarot cards laughing at me. So the tarot here are either laughing in my face and telling me not to ask questions like that, or they're saying it's a yes. Okay, it's a positive. All right, so we're going to go with positive, because there's no real reason you shouldn't ask tarot direct questions like that. It's just you don't often get a direct answer. So I feel that they might be laughing at me here, but this is also because all your cards has they all have, you can read it as a yes or a no. And this is a yes card, okay? So if we wanted to take it very literally, this would be a yes. So we'll go with yes for that. And we will, thank you, Mandy. I hope that today goes well for you, as well as it can do, and that you find it easy to make that decision. Remembering, of course, that whatever comes from it, it's not anything permanently negative that I can see. And you see, I like that. That's very positive. Joa, I'm so sorry I can't pronounce your name. I'm going to call you Pedro. I'm going to take your middle name just because it's easier for me, and I'm sorry that's so ignorant of me. Pedro, you see 7 coins, maybe 7 nominations. You could be right there. I didn't even think about it in that way. So I'm going to ask about whether she was going to get 5 nominations now. I'm going to ask about those nominations, and we'll see what comes out for you. But you're so right. You see, 7 coins, maybe 7 nominations, and like I totally missed that. Now, always remember with the tarot, there's so many meanings, and it's so nuanced, and it's down to the reader, and it's also down to your interpretation. So it could be 7 coins, 7 nominations. That would be good, wouldn't it? So, and Mandy, yeah, the wee man always comes out when Kaza isn't here, and she wants to see him, and that is, again, my cards have got a sense of humor. So nominations for Lady Gaga at the MTV Video Music Awards. Is she going to get 5 nominations? Let's have a look. I'm getting a no. I'm getting the world reverse. So I'm not getting that she's going to get 5 nominations. Okay, I'm not getting she's going to get 5, and that's a straight answer, yes or no, that I'm taking from this card. And with it being a world upside down, I'm feeling that it's more like a less than 5, I would say. But honestly, I am literally almost just making it up there. That's a sort of very loose interpretation of that card. But I'm going to say with this, she's not going to get 5. And how many wins? Well, we'll ask. What is your question there? 3 or 5 wins? She's been having a huge year with Die with a Smile and Abracadabra. I'm guessing, Pedro, that you are a bit of a fan of Lady Gaga here. We'll just ask one more Lady Gaga question, okay? 3 or 5 wins. I think I'm going with less than 5, personally, from what the cards are saying here. And the tarot throws me the same card back. And to me, that says the tarot is saying, we can't give you precise answers like that. Okay, and you heard me shuffle in there, and I've got the same card in the same orientation straight back in my hand. Okay, so we have got, I'm just looking because I'm thinking about, ooh, what number is that? I mean, of course, the world is a 21, which you could use numerology to say 3, couldn't you? Because you could add your 2 and 1 and say 3. So if I had to put my life on it, which thankfully I don't, and it was a number of wins, I would say 3. All right. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes out. But I am in no way saying that tarot is that precise at all. So yeah, Mr. Steve, let's put $10 on 3 wins. Okay. We're going with 3 wins. And now I'm like, I'm not going to watch it because like that is just way, way, way too precise. But it's fun to do things like that with the tarot. And like, let's look at what, yes I am. So basically with the second question related to nominations, not 5 nominations, means that basically will be more. I don't know. I'm not going to ask the tarot again because it's given me the same card, and that's usually saying like, quit your asking this question. But let's just say we're going to go with, I don't think it's going to be 5 nominations, and we're going to go with 3 wins. Mr. Steve's going with 3 wins as well, so we'll go with the 3 as a number. But if it was my last $10, I wouldn't put it on that. I seriously wouldn't. Okay. So it's 11:37 when I'm recording this, so I have been on for over an hour now, so I'm going to call it a day. Thank you for being with me today, and thank you for joining in. And always remember that the tarot doesn't have to be dead serious either. We can ask questions about like things like that. And I'm just reading Pedro. Okay, makes sense if you know why, because Gaga is about to surpass Madonna in the sense that Gaga has 18 VMAs and Madonna has 20 VMAs, and with 3 wins, Gaga will surpass. Well, I hope that she does. I wish her luck. I wish Lady Gaga all the luck in the world in achieving that, because she is pretty magnificent, isn't she? She's a very unique performer. So thank you very much for being with me here today. And I'm reading again. You type really fast, Pedro. 3 wins, Gaga will surpass Madonna with 21, but thank you for the reading. So again, we've got 21 coming up there, so it'll be really interesting to see. So do come back. When is the thing? I'll have a look. I'll find out when those awards are and see, and we'll see afterwards whether that is, but don't put the money on it. Do not gamble on it. So thank you for being here with me. It's been fantastic to spend time with you this morning, and please come back. I'm on at 10:30 a.m. GMT. Actually, we're a bit British summertime out now, aren't we? So I'm going to say UK time. And come back, see me, spend an hour with me in the morning, and yeah, just do that. And I'll see you next time. Stay weird.